Recently, I have been hearing more and more people asking about heat pump, with questions like, what is a heat pump? Why should I install a heat pump? How to find heat pumps that are eligible for government rebate? How to apply a government rebates that related to heat pumps? Some of advertisements display install a heat pump, the government will give you grant, etc. This video answers all your questions. A heat pump extracts heat from air, geothermal heat, water, or emissions waste heat, and transports it to where it is needed, and it circulates running. This video focuses on heat pumps that use air as resource, which in layman's terms is very similar to a reverse air conditioner. The origin of the concept of heat pumps can be traced back to the 19th century era. From the relevant information shows that before year 1875 there have been several European scientists began to publish theories related to heat, as well as experimental work on heat pumps. In year 1877 the world's first heat pump was installed in Switzerland's Beck Salt Works. Switzerland's heat pump technology has always been in the world's forefront. To date, it is still the technology champion in the field of heat pump. However, the development process of heat pumps has had its ups and downs and twists. Not only did it have to meet efficiency and cost requirements, but it also had to compete with regular cheap heating equipment. It really should be recognized as an international milestone that Switzerland's contribution to the advancement of heat pumps and refrigeration technology. From 1876-1918 is the first stage of the development of heat pumps. 1919-1950 with the world's rising fuel prices, the invention of the piston compressor makes the use of heat pumps for heating become competitive. This period, used for space heating and domestic hot water heating, heat pumps have been developed. 1936 with this compressor manufactured for heating the first European heat pump was installed in Zurich, and it be used to this century. In 1949, the first ground-coupled heat pump utilizing geothermal as a heat source was installed in Canada. 1951-1972 international oil prices continued to fall. Fuel oil and low-cost heating equipment became the biggest competitor for heat pumps, which led to a certain degree of stagnation in the development of heat pumps. In 1973 world oil embargoes have had a devastating impact on the economies of various countries, leading to a global recession and hyperinflation. Alternative energy sources and the rational use of energy were no longer the business of a few idealists, but a public priority. The renaissance of heat pumps began, and the International Energy Agency soon identified heat pump technology as one of the key strategies for energy efficiency in buildings. The rapid development of heat pumps also led to the discovery that chlorine spills from refrigerants could attack the ozone layer. The discovery of the ozone hole over Antarctica in 1985, which led and adopted the Toronto Protocol for the phasing down of CFCs, followed by the Vienna Convention for the protection of the ozone layer, and in September 1987, the Montreal Protocol was signed with strict phase-out. Protocols to avoid an environmental catastrophe. As new generation and natural refrigerants began to be introduced, heat pumps also began to enter homes and small dwellings, mainly geothermal as the heat source, solar, and small heat pumps with air source. The most widely used is the air source. For faster mitigation of global warming, this type of heat pumps has a low cost and easy to promote the potential value. Earth Day. Year of 2016, 175 countries around the world signed the Paris Agreement to work together to mitigate global warming. Since the Biden government came to power, it re-promoted the further implementation of the program, and now nearly 30 governments around the world have made financial support for the promotion and use of heat pumps. The United States and Canada have a large amount of heat pump financial rebate program for families. This adds a bright future for the development of heat pumps. Heat pumps reduce CO2 emissions by an average of more than 50% compared to natural gas-fueled furnaces. This is the most important reason for the attention given by most countries in the world today. It has the potential to slow down global warming. Due to the working characteristics of heat pumps, it does not generate heat itself but only transfers it. It is more energy efficient than other heating methods. It mechanically extracts heat from low temperatures. For an individual, the household's energy bill will go down. Officially published figures show that heat pumps use 50% less electricity than resistance heating such as furnaces and baseboard heaters. The following formula also can prove the superiority of heat pumps. W equals Q/COP. W is the work performed on the working fluid by the heat pump's compressor. Once the required heat Q is constant, if the COP is up, the W will reduce. COP is the coefficient of performance of an ideal Carnot heat pump cycle. COP equals usable heat output / the input of electrical energy. An ordinary furnace's COP is a maximum of 1, whereas that of a heat pump is greater than 1. From this formula we can conclude that the relationship between electricity use and heat output is the key to determining the performance of a heat pump. The following chart is a model of German Bosch's technical indicators of value, which red line out of the COP value is 2.12, indicating that its thermal efficiency than the traditional heating savings of more than 50%. Due to the heat pump's working theory that the efficiency of currently manufactured air source heat pumps in very low temperature environments will not reach the desired value. The meaning is still a technological bottleneck in this area that has not been broken through, and there is still room for further development. However, heat pumps have been very successful in the large industrial sector. The world's hottest heat pump in Norway built successfully. The temperature can reach 180 degrees Celsius. The heat pump relies on steam as an energy carrier and is able to recover low temperature waste heat, thus reducing the facility's energy consumption by 40 to 70%. This issue is considering for everyone that planning to install a heat pump. This discussion is the heat pump only for air source and thermal energy sink that heats the air. My personal views is shared as follows. 1. According to your living area to determine the specifications and form of heat pumps. The choice is a ductless splits or a centrally duct system. The vast majority of air source heat pumps on the market today are reversible, with both air conditioning and heat pump functions, and easy to install. If you live in an area where the winter temperature is not lower than -10 degrees Celsius, the heat pump may be your ideal choice. A heat pump solves your house temperature to control throughout the year. It is equivalent to a combination of furnace and central air conditioning, and lower than this temperature when the economic benefits of the heat pump has lost his competitive advantage. You still need to keep a spare heating facilities, but you can still use heat pumps in the temperature is not the extremely cold temperature of the time. but you can still use the heat pump during those times when the temperature is not very cold, and saving you some of the energy costs. The specifications should be based on the size of your house to choose the appropriate capacity. To determine the specifications of the heat pump can based on the internet, although there is a rule of thumb estimation. For a long time contractors are based on the total house square feet divided by a fixed value to get a unit value. They call it ton. Each ton is equal to 12,000 BTU/HR. BTU is the standard British thermal unit per hour. According to the latitude of the earth you live in, high or low, the fixed value is different. Personal priorities will help you choose the specification that best suits your house's needs, combine your house structure and your budget to get a balanced. Choosing too large or too small is not conducive to the longevity of the heat pump. It is advisable to allow the contracting service provider to make a final confirmation of the value based on their experience. 2. Determine the brand of a heat pump. There are many brands of air source heat pumps on the market. The principle of selection first depends on the company's market reputation, product ranking in the market, repair rate, whether the company has a long history, and the supply of follow-up spare parts. Whether the place you use can guarantee and other factors. This video do not make a specific recommendation, but there is a website where you can check the ranking of air source heat pumps for reference. After selecting a specific heat pump product, it is necessary to confirm whether the specific efficiency index of this model meets the new heat pump requirements implemented from 2023. In a way, the meaning is within the scope of the government's financial support list. There are two main indicators to measure heat pumps: the Heating Seasonal Performance Factor (HSPF) and the Cooling Seasonal Energy Efficiency Rating (SEER). According to different geographical locations, the minimum SEER value is also different. The northern United States and Canada are 14, and the southern United States is 15. The minimum value of HSPF is 8.8. Higher SEER and HSPF ratings indicate a more efficient unit. Some new models are also marked with SEER 2 and HSPF 2. SEER 2 and HSPF 2 are more accurate than the former method, because SEER is calculated by dividing the total cooling output of the system by the total consumption of the system in the same period energy. SEER 2 includes the energy consumed by cooling throughout the season to obtain the overall performance of the equipment. According to the specific model, browse the following government websites according to different countries. Enter the product manufacturer, product model, and relevant codes to find all the data. To select a reliable contractor service provider, you can find them that have been worked for your friends, and good reputation. You can also search on the website dedicated to HVAC installation and repair service agency ratings near your area. The principles are: 1. Whether the salesperson's communication is professional, whether there is a transition to exaggerated words. 2. The history of the company's services, including the user's ratings. 3. The price quotes of similar brands are reasonable. 4. Whether the installation service technician has safety insurance, and 5. Whether the payment method is reasonable. There are a few number of relevant websites. Some of the more visited are Google My Business, Yelp, Forbes Home, bbb.org, contractors.com, and hvacwebmasters.com. If in Canada, you can search from Home Starts. If you are in the US, Congress created the Efficient Electricity Homes Rebate Program. US households are eligible for tax credits, and low and moderate income households will qualify for heat pump rebates of up to $8,000, due to varying subsidy policies from state to state. Check the number of dollar amounts published by the government website of the state in which you reside, as well as the terms and conditions. If you are in Canada, the federal government has announced the Canada Greener Homes Grant Program, which provides up to $5,000 in heat pump subsidies, plus a $600 inspection rebate. Each province adds additional different subsidy amounts. Check your provincial government website for details. The federal government website is detailed is you need to find a certified energy audit to do a comprehensive assessment of your home before the installation begins, and then do second time checking after the new system has been using. Then the auditor will send the report to the government and receive a grants. To find an energy audit, you can search from Home Starts website, or you can get a recommended from your contractor.